Ever notice how when a woman cheats, she does not always act guilty? Sometimes she is extra nice. Sometimes she is irritable. And sometimes she becomes the victim. Now, that is because guilt does not show up the same way for women as it does for men. And that is a fact. Men confess to relieve guilt. Women manage guilt to protect emotional control. If you have ever sensed something was off but could not explain why, this video will give you clarity. Oh, and before we continue, I've got something special for you, an ebook, Invisible to Irresistible. How to Get Any Girl in Just 3 Days. It reveals the hidden secrets to making any woman crave you. Grab it now. Link in the description or pinned comment. So, in today's video, I am going to walk you through 5 psychological behaviors women display after cheating, why they happen, what they mean, and how to tell guilt from genuine emotion. Let us start with the most confusing one. Sign 1, overcompensation. The too much love phase. You know that sudden burst of affection that almost feels too good to be true? She is hugging you more, texting you sweet messages out of nowhere, talking about us like she has fallen in love all over again. You start thinking, wow, maybe she finally got back on track. Except that is not true. What is actually happening here is psychological compensation. When a woman cheats and still sees herself as the good person, her brain enters what psychologists call moral balancing. It is a subconscious attempt to even the score. I did something bad, so now I need to do something good, right? She turns up the love, she gives you gifts, plans romantic dates, becomes more sexual. But underneath that affection is not genuine passion. It is guilt management. You can usually tell because the energy feels forced. She is not connecting. She is performing. She is trying to erase the wrong in her head by being the perfect girlfriend for a while. And deep down, you can feel the disconnect. It is in the timing, right after a weird weekend, a secretive phone call, or a sudden mood change. It is in how she praises you, more like reassurance than real admiration. It is in how she touches you, gentle but detached. And the real giveaway is the affection does not last because it is not rooted in desire, it is rooted in guilt. Now, once that temporary moral relief wears off, her energy will drop again. She goes back to being distant, distracted, defensive, and you will be left confused. So, when her love suddenly doubles overnight, do not just enjoy the attention, observe it. Ask yourself what changed, what triggered the shift? Because real love deepens over time. Guilt love spikes and then crashes. Sign number 2, irritability and random anger, when guilt turns to hostility. Now, ever notice how out of nowhere she starts getting irritated by everything you do? Your jokes are not funny anymore. Your habits suddenly bother her. She nitpicks your tone, your timing, your presence, you name it. And basically, you are left asking yourself, wait, what did I even do? The answer might be nothing. When a woman feels guilty, her mind goes to war with itself. Part of her wants to suppress the guilt to keep things normal. The other part cannot stand being reminded of the man she betrayed. That tension has to go somewhere. And so she redirects it towards you. Psychologists call this emotional displacement, projecting uncomfortable feelings onto a safer target. And who is safer than the man who still trusts her? So she finds reason to be angry. Tiny ones, manufactured ones. It is her mind's way of saying, if I can find fault with him, I do not have to feel so bad about what I did. Here is how it plays out. She will start arguing over minor things like how you loaded the dishwasher or forgot to text her back. She will act distant, but when you ask if something is wrong, she will snap. Why are you always assuming? She may even accuse you of the very thing she is doing. Flirting, being secretive, acting off. This is an emotional volatility. It is guilt that is morphing into justification. If she can make you the problem, she does not have to face her own actions. And the biggest trap is most men respond to that anger with reassurance, apologizing, fixing, walking on eggshells, which only confirms her rewritten story. See, I am not the bad one. He is just difficult. So here's the clarity you need. When her irritability feels irrational and disconnected from reality, do not chase calm. Watch for patterns. If every conversation somehow loops back to your flaws or your mistakes, you are not in a fight. You are in a guilt projection loop, okay? So you want to distance yourself emotionally and just observe. Because in guilt-driven anger, she is not trying to connect. She is just trying to cope. Sign 3, defensive overreaction, when innocent questions trigger explosions. You ask a simple, calm question like, "Who were you texting?" or "Why did you not answer last night?" And suddenly she is furious. Her tone sharpens, her eyes shift, and she fires back with, "Why are you being so insecure? Do not you trust me?" Or the classic, "You are acting paranoid." If these sound familiar, know that it is not normal communication. That is a fear-based defense response. The psychology behind it is this. When someone carries guilt, their nervous system is already on edge. They are hyper aware that at any moment the truth can come out. So even neutral curiosity will feel like confrontation. It is not your question that is triggering her, it is her conscience. A woman who has done nothing wrong answers questions calmly. A woman who is hiding reacts as if she is being attacked because deep down she is fighting that private panic. What does he know? How close is he to finding out, etc., right? Out. This is where most men get manipulated because the louder she reacts, the more you start doubting yourself. It is classic gaslighting. You think maybe I am really overreacting. That is exactly how guilt protects itself, by flipping the emotional burden. So here's the pattern I want you to watch. Overjustification. She gives long, unnecessary explanations that sound rehearsed. Gaslighting. She reframes your question as insecurity or control. Avoidance. She changes topics fast or distracts you with affection or humor. Each of those are an emotional smokescreen. Keep that in mind. It is subtle because she is not always lying outright. She is dodging clarity. A guilty person avoids precision. They prefer emotional chaos because it keeps you from thinking clearly. So, here is your clarity. If your calm curiosity repeatedly triggers disproportionate emotion, it is not communication, it is concealment. Yes, she is trying to hide something. If you notice her energy shift from open to defensive the moment you get close to the truth, do not push harder. Just pause and observe. Because you see, the truth does not need defending. Only lies do. Sign number 4, sudden effort to fix the relationship. So, you have been arguing for weeks. She has been distant, distracted, emotionally checked out, and suddenly she is all in. She wants to talk things through. She is suggesting therapy. She is saying things like, "I have been thinking about how to make us stronger." Or, "Hey, I really do not want to lose you." And for a moment, you exhale. You think, well, she has had a change of heart, and maybe she finally sees my worth. But I want you to slow down at this point. That is not always reconciliation, you see. Sometimes it is redemption. See, when a woman cheats, her sense of identity takes a hit. She does not just betray you, she betrays her self image. And if she sees herself as a fundamentally good woman, that dissonance will eat at her. So instead of confessing or walking away, she tries to fix the relationship. Not to heal, but to restore her self concept. In her mind, she is thinking, if I can make him happy again, maybe I am not a bad person. If we get back on track, maybe what I did was not so serious. And that is why her effort will feel urgent, emotional, and also inconsistent. It is driven by guilt, not grounded in genuine reasons to repair emotionally, right? You will notice the signs. Energy is rushed. She is desperate for things to go back to normal. She is affectionate but avoids specifics about the real problems. She apologizes vaguely. "Oh, I know. I know I have not been myself lately," but never gives you details as to why that is the case. What is happening is she is trying to rewrite the story without facing the truth. If she can save the relationship, she saves her reputation in her mind and maybe even in yours. But that version of saving comes with strings. You become emotionally responsible for maintaining her relief. She is no longer fixing you, too. She is just fixing her guilt through you. And that is dangerous because it makes you mistake her effort for emotional honesty. But honesty is slow. Effort is fast. Honesty is uncomfortable. Effort is comforting. Here is your clarity. Real change is consistent, humble, specific. Guilt-driven change is intense. It is temporary. It is vague. So when she suddenly wants to rebuild, do not let your relief blind you. Ask yourself, is she addressing what actually broke us or just trying to silence what is haunting her? A relationship can be repaired, but not when guilt is holding the hammer. Sign 5, the confession that makes you feel guilty. Picture this. She sits you down, tears in her eyes, and says, "I need to tell you something." Your heart stops. You brace yourself, and she admits it. I cheated. You expect the truth to bring peace, but instead you leave that conversation confused, emotional, and somehow maybe even guilty. Let us break down what just happened. You see, when a woman cheats, the guilt becomes unbearable. She may confess, but not to set you free, to set herself free. She is not looking to heal you. She is just looking for relief, right? And the fastest way to achieve that relief is to shift that emotional weight back onto you. So listen carefully to how she frames her confession. It will sound something like this: I was lonely. You were not giving me attention. We were drifting apart. I made a mistake, but you made me feel invisible. That is not accountability. That is emotional inversion. She is flipping the power dynamic by mixing vulnerability with blame, right? Psychologically, it is a self-protection or protective confession. Her brain is saying, if I explain the pain that led me to cheat, maybe I will not look like the bad guy. And it works because you care. You start thinking, maybe I really was too distant. Maybe it was my fault. Before long, you are comforting the woman who just betrayed you. It is not reconciliation, it is manipulation. Here's how to tell the difference between a genuine confession and a guilt-driven one. Hear me. So, genuine remorse centers the harm she caused. Guilt manipulation centers the pain she felt. Genuine remorse takes full ownership. Guilt manipulation shares or shifts blame. Genuine remorse accepts consequences. Guilt manipulation seeks emotional reassurance. Genuine remorse focuses on your healing. Guilt manipulation focuses on her image or relief. If she is crying, apologizing, but constantly explaining, she is not necessarily processing guilt. She is repackaging it. She wants forgiveness without accountability. And if she says things like, oh, I just want us to move forward without giving you space to process, what she is really saying is, hey, let us fast forward my past guilt so I can feel better. Do not fall for that illusion of closure. Closure does not come from a confession. It comes from consistent honesty afterwards. So, if she confesses but continues to hide details, dodge responsibility, or center her emotions, you are not being healed. You are being handled. So this is the clarity that you need. Hear me. True remorse has no defense. When someone is generally sorry, they do not argue their case. They just accept the cost. If her confession leaves you more confused than calm, that was not an apology. It is just simple strategy that she is executing. Remember that, guys, understanding guilt requires becoming perceptive. When you know what guilt looks like, you stop being confused by all these mixed signals that guilty women give you. You stop mistaking overcompensation for love, and you stop internalizing the chaos as something that is your fault. You see, clarity is power. It does not make you cold, it makes you calm, and once you are calm, no one can play on your emotions again. And if you want to take this level of power to the next level, then listen carefully. I created something for men who are done guessing, done stumbling, and done letting opportunities slip by. It is an ebook called Invisible to Irresistible: How to Get Any Girl in Just 3 Days. It breaks down the hidden psychology of attraction, the exact steps that spark craving, and the mindset shift that makes the right woman lock in on you fast. If you like the way this message feels, the ebook shows you how to live it every day. Grab it now. The link is in the description or the pinned comment. Adios.